Hey now, if you're not 21, please leave this channel. This is a 21-year-old and up channel. So peace out. If you follow us, you know we have a leak. We filled the pond up yesterday with water, and sure enough, we have a leak. Right there, we know where it is. And it is right underneath that big rock that's sticking out right there. Where's it at? Somewhere. Well, I did have it. There it is. Yep. Big old hole. I almost put my pinky in it. So I know how it happened. Up where that rock comes off that wall, you know, let's see if I can get it. It's coming down and then it comes off the wall up underneath that rock, that lip of that rock, where we were putting concrete up underneath there. Some of it fell down. Excuse me, fell down. And obviously didn't get up in that hole and dry and cure properly. Same with the, so once the hole was there was nothing for the pond shield to stick to. And we all know how water is. If there's a way, it will find it. And it did. So we just drained the water out. We're down past the hole there. What I'm thinking about doing is taking just maybe some cotton or something and filling that hole. Like I said, it's about the size of my pinky. We can shove some cotton up in there, and then just pond shield over top of that. That pond shield will stick to the cotton and seal that hole up. We'll give it a good couple coats of pond shield, let that, put a fan on it, and that should seal it right on up. We can come in from the back side as well, but on the back side the hole is up in there, so it'd be kind of pointless to try and seal it from the outside. That water would just get in that hole, sit there, and over time we'd have a major problem. Over here on this side, it's day 29 of flower, and we're still waiting on this sucker to fly. At this point, I could probably go ahead and cut this one out. And you're saying to yourself, why would you do that? Well, because all of this is going to be done weeks before this. And what am I supposed to do with this? Just let it go back into re-veg, or wait 2 weeks and just grow this one plant? No. It'll just be sacrificed to the bed. We'll harvest all this and replant. This is the orange lean from OK Calyx, and the flowers look really good. You know, we're coming off that crash, so the plant itself looks like shit compared to what I'm used to. I've never had issues like this, not in this system, and we know exactly why we have these issues. It's because we added in that deep red and we removed the cool white, so much so that we killed off our cyanobacteria, allowing a lot of stuff to just start cascading in the wrong direction. It just started to overload the system. Basically, in a nutshell, it couldn't breathe. We shut the oxygen off because the cyanobacteria, the string algae, all these things are creating oxygen in the water. And that oxygen is then wicked up, dissolved oxygen wicked up into the system, where this is how these plants can withstand all the water, the excess water, because that excess water has a lot of oxygen in it. When it doesn't have that, it cannot take the overwater. Plants suffocate, they drown in it. Bad bacteria starts to happen. We end up with a swamp, and we all know things don't like to grow very well in a swamp. At least not very green anyway. But we are coming back. You can see how our grass took a hit, but you see that new fresh green down there too. So you can see all the old that was just turning brown. You can see all the old that was turning brown. And it was coming from the bottom up. See how it was coming from the bottom up. But we are seeing new growth, new green growth, and I'm seeing algae. Look at that. See that algae growing off that rock right there? That's string algae. That stuff will start to grow everywhere. We'll start on the rocks. So look at that right there. That's what we're missing. We're missing all that green algae right there. You see how I'll pull this a little bit out so you can see. This is what we're missing. You see how that algae is catching all that brown poo and all that organic matter that builds up in the creek from the pond, from all the waste and all the other, just fish swimming in, releasing it. Brings that stuff up to the creek where the algae can catch it and feed off of it, growing the algae. This algae is photogenic. Photosynthesis is what it does. I can't pronounce the word. Very hard for me to pronounce that word for some reason. But anyway, look at the little snail. It's a little freshwater snail. So this stuff is what is just one thing that creates algae. Then you got the cyanobacteria that lives on the algae, and if we kill off all this stuff and not having a filter, things go awry really fast. So if we have a filter, a filtration, so if we were running a filtration box, say we added in a filtration box where the water comes in, goes through a box before it enters the creek, we can clean the box, keeps the creek, from overloading itself. But the algae and the bacteria, the cyanobacteria in particular, will do this for us. It will literally become the filter box. The algae catches all that stuff. But it's our responsibility to come in and pull that algae out and put it in the soil, where that that stuff can create oxygen in the soil, aerating the soil without us even needing to do anything. It's quite remarkable. The whole system itself is quite unbelievable how it works, but I'm just figuring this stuff. That's why it's very hard for me to explain in other than layman's terms. It's very so complicated, so many things going on, so many different things can cause an issue, and if we do too many things at once, we don't know what that cause that gave us the issue. So we're looking for the cause of the issue, and if we go doing a whole lot of things at once, we don't know what the issue is. In this case, we know exactly what the issue was, because as soon as we added in that deep red and lowered that white light, I noticed in the creek that the algae just disappeared. I let it go too long. It didn't register in my brain and say, hey, that's a bad thing. I thought, getting rid of most of the algae would be somewhat of a good thing, but turns out the algae is what's creating the system. It's like actually what gives us life. It's what started life on this planet, pretty much. I mean, if you think about it, that cyanobacteria, that algae, it produced oxygen coming out of the ocean and out of the waters, and that oxygen then transferred over and life began. That was billions of years ago. The same process is happening right now in this system. We need that algae to grow, produce that oxygen, We need to do everything else as far as providing the lights, providing, like, say, CO2. The soil will produce CO2, but I've trying to create an environment that holds on to that in the soil. That biochar and, you know, all the biology down there working and doing the cycling for us. The cycle got messed up, and we can see it. We can definitely see it. We got fungus gnats. Got a few fungus gnats, not many, but a few. See them? And that's to be expected. That is what happened at the beginning of when I first turned this on. This is what we got. This is what we saw. Once the system got set up and started cycling properly, all that stuff went away. Now that the system crashed, we lost our oxygenization in the water and in the soil. Bad things start to happen. We start seeing fungus gnats, we start seeing pests, we start seeing all the bad things come in and start to eat what's dying. That's their job. So if we start seeing pests, they're here for a reason. They're here because things are starting to go south. They smell it, they sense it, they come in, and it's their job to get rid of the death that's occurring in this place. Oh, looks like I messed that one up. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, that's how, I mean, it's very sensitive. I'm noticing that. Extreme. But once if I had just not turned that red, or if I turn the red on, I can't leave it on for a long period of time. Just can't do it. It crushes everything. Crushes it. Look at these two assholes over here. Are they getting it on? Or, yeah, they're getting it on. That's why I like this. Yeah. I like this white paper, or white plastic, I mean. It draws in the moss. The moss will land on the plastic, and we just come over and kill them. We got our Grandmasters hung. Don't need to turn them on right now. Super simple to install. You just they come folded, so you can fold them. You just you unfold them out the box. The bracket's already on them, so you just basically excuse me, the drivers, the two drivers, you just set those on top. They clip in, clip, clip. Hang the light, plug them in. We've got the control box over here. We haven't set any of this up yet. We've got some electrical things we got to do. We got to just figure out where we want to run everything, where we want to mount the box. A lot of stuff to do, little things. But other than that, we're really close. We're going to seal that little hole up. We're going to run water through the creek, make sure we don't have any leaks in that. We can do that today. But other than that, yeah, we're close. So with that being said, hope everybody enjoys their Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.